Yes, that's so. It's like I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. Was blind, but now I see.
Stay tuned for more Country Celebrates America.
Next on Nova, Hawaii, the crucible of life. Hawaii is the most isolated island chain in the world. For 25 million years, it has been a unique natural laboratory where some of the rarest and most highly specialized plants and animals on Earth have evolved. But its lush vegetation and diverse animal populations are seriously threatened by man and other introduced species. And this tropical paradise may be disappearing forever. Hawaii, the crucible of life. Next time on Nova.
Let Nova take you to Hawaii tomorrow night at 8.
Here is a gentleman who sang in the honky-tonks and bars of suburban Virginia and Maryland. Welcome him home for the 4th, Roy Clark!
On the hill, but what we got you can't put into a still. We got love, we got love. We don't care what shines above. We got love. Big house on the hill, but what we got, some folks never will. We got love, we got love. We don't think that the stars above. We got love, we got love, we got love. Bless your hearts. Thank you. All right, let's dance. 37, do it, do it, do it. Well, people would come from miles away. They dance all night to the break of day. When they call her, holler, do-si-do. ready to go. Late in the evening, about sundown, on a hill in above the town. Play the fiddle, Lord, and have it ring. Head talk, you can hear it sing. Soldier's joy, and a woman called the Boston boy, but the race of all was Ginny Lynn. To me, that's where that feeling began. Lady evening about sundown, on a hill and above the town. Played the fiddle, Lord, and have it ring. Head talk, you could hear it sing. That a mournful day when a old friend was called away. He hung up his fiddle and he hung up his bow. We knew it was time for him to go. Late in the evening, about sundown, on the hill and above the town. Played the fiddle, Lord, and how it ring. You could hear it talk, you could hear it sing. Lord, how it ring, head talk, you could hear it sing. I appreciate it. How about this band? Thank you. Thank you. Willie couldn't be here this evening.
I run it every day. I should know.
If you mean this track, it's 1.5 miles.
What do I have to do to prove it to you? I have a map at home. It's 1.8. It says so in black and white. I wouldn't just run 1.5. That's not enough distance for me. I have to stay in shape.
Me too. That's why I'm running here. But why don't we do some warm-up exercise before we run?
All right, that isn't such a bad idea. Too crowded up there now for me anyway.
Every weekend, more and more people. I don't know where the hell they come from.
Sure, this is 1.8.
Positive. I do it every single day.
Every single day?
Every single day.
That's funny. I've never seen you here.
Every morning.
I'll tell you, I'm here every morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, rain or shine. I've never seen you.
All right.
Yeah.
WJOG, Run Radio. We got sunny skies and 97 degrees in Central Park.
Hi. How you doing?
Hey.
You know what this guy's been chasing? He's after me. I'm really sorry.
What is this?
Stand still, buddy.
Hey, give that to me.
Give me
Look,
that.
you're not doing this.
Stand still for a second.
Ow!
No, move the other side. Wait a minute. Stop.
Hey, WJOG.
1.5 miles.
Are you serious? So? We'll run it if we have to.
Hey, watch out! Watch out! Watch it! Sorry.
Hold up, so use the other side.
Okay.
Take a look around you. Everybody's running around the reservoir in a southerly direction. You want me to run north?
I don't care how they're running. I'm not running 1.5 miles into the sun.
1.8.
I hear 1.8 one more time. You're going to be swimming this reservoir.
Oh,
I don't have to run at all. I don't care.
All right, if that's how you feel, to hell with it. I don't have to run
To
myself.
hell with it. I won't run.
All right, I'm not going to run either.
You want to do some stretching with me?
Well, of course.
Shake it out.
Take it out. Okay.
No.
You all right?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Come on, let's swim back.
Run?
Yeah.
Don't look now, but that guy back there's been following us all morning.
That was a good jog, now, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. It was a great job. You jog here every day?
Yeah, every day.
Really? Maybe we could meet here tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. Why not?
Maybe we could...
Oh, I have to go. See you tomorrow, sir.
Sweetheart, who is
Well,
that?
that's my new jogging partner.
What a whim. Bye.
Hot now. I need a drink.
That's funny. Such good shape the last few days. Today I think I've gotten too much exercise. I need a break today. Maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to running with you here every day. Around the reservoir, 1.5 miles.
What do you mean 1.5? I told you it's 1.8.
1.5.
1.8?
1.5 FM WJOG. It's 112 degrees out there.
For the first time nationally on public television, Violet. Dee Dee Khan stars in the Academy Award-winning film of a young woman's search for beauty.
I'm going to Tulsa to see this preacher. You know the one that heals? I'm coming home pretty. Jesus, I've been praising you. It's getting harder every year. I can't stay with this pace anymore. I've got to be able to go out and not have people look at me. Because they do look at me. They just look, even though they can't stand what they see.
Wednesday evening at 10:30.
In a world of fly-by-night entertainment, 30 years of quality programming is something to take pride in. Happy anniversary, Channel 2, from Frontline. And thank you, South Florida, for supporting your station throughout the years.
To fly. Once they're up there, soaring, that's when you see the grace and the strength of the bird. And they don't very often flap their wings. They just take advantage of the wind and the air currents, and they can just fly forever. The very first eagle I saw, this huge bird came up 50 feet over the water or so and flew right underneath where I was sitting. And I was looking down on a bald eagle against the blue water. Of course, I didn't have a camera. But I still have the picture in my mind, and that's quite a few years ago.
Presentation of Home Free Return of the Bald Eagle is made possible in part with funds provided by this public television station, which depends largely on viewer contributions. Please join with your support.
At that time, I don't think there were more than 1 or 2 people in the state that had any idea that we had eagles wintering in the state. That's how I got into photography initially. Part of the challenge, I suppose, was to prove that we had such an animal. It was quite a hike into there. It was 6 or 7 miles from the road. And I don't know how many times I hiked in there that winter trying to get a look at that eagle. And of course I didn't, because I'd walk in broad daylight and the bird would see me from someplace and never come near that area again.
Jack Swedberg has always loved the woods of western Massachusetts. As a boy, he hunted and fished in the Quabbin Valley. Later, he came to observe and photograph. 81,000 acres of wilderness were created here from farmland with the flooding of the valley to make Quabbin Reservoir in the 1930s. Clean water for drinking required that human access be restricted. Wildlife flourished. Here at Quabbin, Jack first saw a wandering eagle.
Following winter then, I got through my thick Swedish head that I'd build a blind where I wanted it first, and then when I found a dead deer, I'd move the deer over. And that year I did get a few pictures of an eagle. They weren't that great, but they were probably the first pictures of eagles in Massachusetts anyway, because people didn't believe we had eagles. So everybody says to me, you have to have a lot of patience, and I don't know if that's necessarily true. I think I'm just as impatient as the next person, but you really have to have a love for the wildlife and feel the certain amount of challenge there that you're going to get decent pictures of the eagles. And to do that, you have to be willing to sit for long periods of time.
Jack's hobby grew into a profession after 20 years. The State Division of Fisheries and Wildlife hired him as their photographer. He learned more about eagles whenever he could and realized that the few he had seen were probably visitors from Canada or Maine searching for winter food.
I think the birds here in Massachusetts disappeared simply because of civilization. I mean, Massachusetts in 1900 was about 85% cleared land for farming. All this area around here that's now woods was all cleared land. So I think it was more a loss of habitat with our birds as far as resident breeding birds go. And then, of course, the overall problem with the eagles was the pesticides that they were using, the hard chemicals like DDT. It's sprayed for insects. The insects are eaten by small fish. The small fish are eaten by the larger fish, and the eagle ends up eating the larger fish. It accumulates in the system and builds up in each one of these animals. So the eagle's getting a massive dose at the end of it. What happens is that DDT, for instance, upsets calcium production in the birds, and they lay eggs that have thin shells, and the shells got progressively thinner and thinner and thinner. So it was getting to the point where eggs would be broken during incubation. They just wasn't enough shell, and they even found one egg that had no shell, just the membrane holding it together.
If pesticide use continued, Jack's rare film footage could become the record of a vanished species. Fortunately for the eagles, a few people realized the threat to life that hard pesticides had unleashed. Scientists began to trace the lethal course of DDT through the food chain. Massachusetts Audubon Society supported this work and spread information on the alarming research results, aided by other conservation groups and by Rachel Carson's influential book, Silent Spring. A pitched political battle fought during the 1960s finally ended in the banning of hard pesticide use in the United States. 15 years later, it was once again safe for an eagle to nest in a wild area like Quabbin, but a single fact made this nearly impossible. Like salmon, eagles instinctively return to their native place to breed.
Through the years, the interest in eagles developed more and more, and I kept on with the photography on the eagles. And then I got the idea that, gee, wouldn't it be great to reestablish the national bird to Massachusetts as a resident breeding bird?
Jack Swedberg thought he knew a way to convince an eagle to call Massachusetts home.
Hacking is an old falconer's term from the old days. What it was a method of releasing a trained hawk to the wild. They would build a small platform, and they'd feed the bird on this platform, and then they'd free it, and it would continue to come back to that platform for food, but gradually it would wean itself away. At the time, nobody thought about hacking eagles.
Eagles from another location, taken as nestlings still unable to fly, might think of their artificial nest as home. To make sure they stay wild, their human foster parents must remain invisible behind one-way glass. When the young birds are old enough to fly, they will be released.
So we quested for money, and Massachusetts Audubon funded the project for us. Of course, now they have found some corporate funding for this year and ensuing years through the Bank of Boston. Bald eagles are very difficult to come by, young birds.
We're going to be flying southeast out to the shore of Lake Winnipeg, north of the Winnipeg River. And on this point of land, there's one nest, and the other nest is about 8 kilometers north of that.
Both of these nests now have 2 young in them.
Yes,
we're pretty certain of that.
After a long search, Jack found that the Canadian province of Manitoba had enough bald eagles to allow 4 young to be taken. David Hatch, a Canadian naturalist, flew thousands of miles locating nests with multiple chicks. The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service helped with air transport and skilled climbers who could actually take a single bird from each nest.
Yeah. Well, I say we get going before that wind comes up. It was just incredible country from where we were based there north. 750 miles of just wilderness. You don't cross a road. One lake after the other, river after river. Just gorgeous country and wild country. The eagle, of course, is primarily a fish eater and generally nests right very close to water, large bodies of water, and that's just ideal habitat. If you miscalculate on the age of the birds, You wait too long. When you come up over the edge of that nest, they're liable to jump out. So you have to do it while they're still young enough that they'll stay in the nest.
A lot of sticks are going to be falling, Craig. One fall. Hey. Okay, Craig, I'm just going to pick up the one closest to me, so everybody keep an eye on the one that's on the outside. Right. Okay, hang on. Hang in there. Okay, it's all right. Okay, all right, calm down. You're doing good. Yeah, I know. Life's tough. Well, these are big ones, Craig. Okay. Hang on, you're doing fine. A little slower, Keith. Let me pull mine tighter. Okay. Make sure you're... Okay, good. You got him, Craig. Okay. Take it nice and easy.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Okay, let me know how he looks.
That was super exciting to open that bag and see a young eaglet in there. And of course, they're wild-looking birds. They're not small. They're great big fellows. The first bird that was taken weighed over 9 pounds. And of course, that wild eye that an eagle has and the big talons and all, very exciting to open the bag and take that bird out and put a band on it.
Do you have mosquitoes up there?
Theoretically, about 6.5 weeks is the proper age to take the birds. They're imprinted to the parent birds at this stage of life. They know they're eagles, and they're not really imprinted to the area as home-based. So taking them at that age, they still remember that they're eagles, but they will imprint to the new nest area, so that'll be home.
All right.
Arriving from Manitoba, the 4 eaglets fly over their new home. Wild land, clean water, and freedom from human disturbance make Quabbin Reservoir the best Massachusetts nest site for eagles. If the delicate food chain sustains them here, it's a good sign that all is well with this crucial natural environment. David Nelson, a wildlife biology graduate student from the University of Massachusetts, will live at the hack site to protect and feed the birds until they can fend for themselves.
One of my favorite times of day is morning, early morning. I think there's almost nothing that's as nice as watching the sun rise. And so I like to get up fairly early, like around 5 o'clock. The first thing I do each day is climb up and make sure the birds are okay, watch them for a few minutes just to see what they're doing. Around 8 o'clock, I will come over to the fish cage and take out some fish for the eagles and bring it up and put it into the cage. And usually during the day, at some point, I'll watch them for about 4 hours. And I watch very closely. Everything they do, every 30 seconds, I'll make a behavioral observation, just put a tick mark under which behavior the birds are exhibiting. And in this way, I can really keep a handle on both their personality and their development.
As most babies, these eagles really spend a lot of time doing nothing, resting or loafing. But I would assume it's about 80% of the time that they're sitting or standing and growing, actually. That's Orville that's preening over there. What they do in preening is they use their beak to comb through their feathers and remove any dirt that happens to be there. It serves to sleek out their feathers and clean them up. They do this as adults, but they do it much more during the growing stage when the feathers are enlarging. Oftentimes, too, you'll see stretching of the leg and the wing at the same time. After sitting in the same position for quite a while, their muscles will naturally get a little tight. In terms of learning how to become proficient flyers, they do this exercise, wing exercise. They really create quite a lift. As they get older, they're able to jump up off the nest at the same time that they flap and stay aloft a foot or two above the perch that they happen to be on. And this is important because it serves as a time to strengthen their muscles for flight and ready themselves for the technique of flying, which obviously must be difficult the first few times they try it.
So what do you think now after watching for the last week or so? They ready to go? We got to wait another 3 months? Or?
Well, they look real good. Actually, I think they're a little older than we originally thought with our aging techniques, because their ability to fly is really impressing me and jump around the cage. The two biggest birds, more so even than the
Do
other
you
one.
think we have to bring release day up by a week, maybe?
Well, it looks like it would be a good idea.
If we hold them too long, that instead of staying in the area when they're released, they're liable to bolt and just take off on a long flight, which doesn't add to their ability to imprint to the area. If you let them go a little earlier, they'll tend to stay longer and possibly imprint again. That's theory.
Another thing is we've been feeding them suckers pretty much straight through, and I'd like to vary the diet if we can.
They should have something with fur or feathers. And so far this year, nobody's come up with a fresh roadkill. But we do have 3 deer that were court cases down in the freezer at McLaughlin Hatchery. So we'll get the boys to bring up one of those, and we'll cut it up into 2-pound chunks or something, leave on a little bit of the hair, and feed that for a couple of days.
Okay, good.
The birds in this cage aren't nearly as aggressive towards each other as the ones in the other cage. Sometimes there's a little bit of an altercation in between the two of them, but they're both getting something to eat, and there really isn't a lot of trouble between the two of them. In this other cage now, we may have more of a bit of a problem between the two birds. With the big female, the aggressive bird has jumped right up onto the nest. She's really cornered it for herself. Now the male's coming up too. No, she's not going to let him try and get any of the food. In order to get around any problems that this might cause, we want to make sure that there's enough food in there so that both birds get enough to eat.
We're a caution. Watch out for those talons.
Yeah. Good big guys watching. Got one. What's the big one, Jack?
I got the big one, eh? Well, I'm going to get it in a second here.
Jack and Dave have remained invisible behind the one-way glass until today. The startled eagles have to be captured one last time for a physical exam and a parting gift which will allow their human foster parents to track each bird during the first year of freedom.
You got a free hand? No problem. You want to take the
Now, he's not going to hurt you, little lady. We're just fixing you up so you can't hurt yourself. Yeah.
The eagle's eyes are hooded to calm them during handling.
Sure.
What an experience to go through, huh? Yeah. What an experience. Put you through this. It won't take long. And then you'll forget all about it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I'm just trying to separate out these two central tail feathers so that I can get at the shafts.
Do you need some masking tape?
Those hardened off all right, Dave?
They sure are.
Radio beeps from miniature transmitters, so too a central tail feather, can be picked up by researchers at distances over 200 miles. If the birds become sick or unable to feed themselves, helping hands can find them. A colored fabric wing marker will identify each bird after the transmitter is lost.
The eye of these birds is probably the most magnificent thing about this animal. The sensitive part of the retina is constructed so that each visual element has practically its own nerve leading to the sensory part in the brain. You can probably see a postage stamp from 500 feet or even better than that. The second thing is he has very, very rapid accommodation to changes in light so that his iris can expand or contract very quickly if he flies in over brightly reflected water or something like that. This animal is truly a visual animal, the champion visual animal on the earth.
If you get close enough, like with these birds, to really look at them, and the eye is the striking thing. They seem to have intelligence. They're thinking, you know.
Jack, I want to give the birds a little while to calm down now that the boats are out.
All right, we're about ready to go here. Hang in for a minute. All right.
This is the most exciting time, definitely, and the most critical time, too. Release is definitely the toughest part of the whole hack procedure. You let them go, and you want to make sure they can fly, and they're capable of getting out far enough so that they know they can fly, but yet not too far, so they don't lose sight of the tower, and they will be coming back in for food. There's a possibility that they could get out far enough from the tower and then not be able to get to a perch and actually end up in the water. And then we'll go out and pick them up, put them back into the cage, let them dry off, and give them another chance. So this is a very exciting time. This is really the culmination of many weeks' work, this moment today when we release the birds.
Jack? Oh, boy.
David, you called that one right.
Just like that.
Yeah, they're going to bolt right out.
They're going to bolt right out of that towel.
Jack didn't make any predictions, you see, of course. You noticed that.
Well, that's right. I know better.
Hey, I said 2 predictions, and the other one was the male was going to go first, and I was kind of worried it's there for a minute. It might not be right, but it turned out right after.
But you know that a contrary female wouldn't be first.
So, Jack, where did they go?
Well, of course, one bird's out on the island. I think you probably saw that. And the other bird's about 300 yards up on the shore in back of the tower. Perched in hemlock tree. So we're home free.
"5 years from now, if all goes according to plan, there will be 4 mature bald eagles who feel the instinctive call to build a wild nest at Quabbin.
They need an area to come back to. I feel that even if I could never go to Quabbin, if it was shut off completely from people, I could sit here very happy just knowing that that area existed for the wildlife.
Presentation of Home Free Return of the Bald Eagle was made possible in part with funds provided by this public television station, which depends largely on viewer contributions. Please join with your support.
An incredible idea. Great programs, no interruptions. All this month on WPBT Channel 2. TV worth watching for 30 years.
As chairman of the board of WPBT, I know how important involvement is to a public television station like Channel 2. On this, our 30th anniversary, we would like to thank you, the South Florida community, for your involvement with us over the years. Together, we can carry on a tradition of excellence that began 30 years ago.
Major funding for Alive from Off-Center has been provided by the National Endowment for the Arts and the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. Additional funding has been provided by the AT&T Foundation, the Northwest Area Foundation, the Rockefeller Foundation, and this and other public television stations.
This time on Alive from Off-Center, we will witness the electronic theater of Sam Shepard, Joseph Chaikin, and Shirley Clark. Artistic partnerships have been a mainstay of the theater. In adapting a play to television, a new partner is needed. Hello, I'm Susan Stanbury. Pulitzer Prize-winning playwright Sam Shepard first teamed up with actor Joseph Chaikin to create the work Tongues for the stage. Chaikin went on to form a second partnership with director Shirley Clark to shape the material for video. Sam Shepard says the inspiration for Tongues came from ideas of voices and death. Joseph Chaikin says the work is about somebody being reborn and reborn again. This life cycle is told in a series of poems. Here then, Joseph Chaikin in his and Sam Shepard's Tongues, directed by Shirley Clark.
He was born in the middle of a story which he had nothing to do with. In the middle of a people, in the middle of a people he stays. All his fights, all his suffering, all his hope are with the people. All his joy, all his hate, all his labors are with the people. All the air, all the food, all color, all sound and smell